welcome back to Boring Reviews.
Boring land.
Oh, just kidding.
Blasphemer!
Hello,
right.
Boring Review Nation!
Kind of pointless.
We know all things.
All right, welcome back to Boring Reviews. Nick here, and I am bringing you another episode of Footy Friday. That is right, it is Friday. Not really, it's Thursday for me, but Friday for my friends in Australia and anyone else that is not living in the United States that is a good ways away. How are you doing? If you're excited for the WTC, if you're a cricket fan, that starts in less than 24 hours, which is super awesome. But this is about AFL, this is about footy, and just to give a quick update, I mentioned how I had cursed Adelaide, which I still believe I did. Last video, I think last week, and people were in the comment section, this or that. I appreciate the support, I appreciate the comments, I appreciate the saltiness as well. I get it. But my Crows have done it. They have won a match. Thank goodness they won. I think it was last week. So it's the second win since I claimed them. It's still not good. But maybe if they win again in their next match, they might be able to get into the top 10 of the standings. I mean, that'd be something. They're at number 12 right now. Ugh. Tough. The top of the standings for AFL, we got the Melbourne, we got the Bulldogs, and we got Geelong. Top three teams right there, so that's looking really good. Melbourne, 11-2. They've had 13 matches. They've won 11. Very, very impressive. Who do you think right now? Is it Melbourne? Is it the Bulldogs? Is it someone else? Who do you think has the best chance of getting to that final and win it? Let me know in the comment section below. But today I'm looking at a video that I found, so I guess I requested it. And this is a video titled, Who is the GOAT? And this is from the same people I reacted to last week, Footy on 9. I'm assuming it's a sports segment that covers, that covers footy on TV. And who is the GOAT? The title interested me because when you're thinking about GOAT, we're not talking about the animal. We're talking about the greatest of all time. And every sport, they have the arguments, they have the discussions amongst the fans and the players. Who is the GOAT? Who is the GOAT? It seems like it's a phrase, that's, at least in American sports, that's used all the time. And so I was curious, like, where did that phrase come from? And I was thinking Muhammad Ali, but I wasn't exactly sure. But according to Google, Muhammad Ali, who of course called himself the greatest of all time, he is credited by many people as the person that originated that phrase. So let's go ahead and look at who is the GOAT this video. I'm assuming they're going to be choosing who they think are the best of all time in AFL. I hope that's what this video is. Cross our fingers. And I'm not going to know any of these players, but I like these countdowns. I like these lists because I feel like for me, it helps me to better understand the sport if you understand the history of the sport. And the best of all time, those kind of players, that would be definitely the history of the sport. So here we go. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Here we go.
Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. It is time for the deep dive. We're going to take a look back to what would have happened in round 8. And West Coast were playing Sydney this round. Takes me back to this famous moment, one of my favourite moments in grand final history. And there is Leo Barry, seconds to go, comes in from the side and takes
Wow.
Famous commentary there from Steve Quartermain, and the siren went with the ball in the hands of Leo Barry, TJ.
So would that just be an average mark, would it?
No, that is a very good mark. It's not rated like Alex Jesselenko's mark.
Not far off it.
It's not spoken about like Jez's.
Oh, okay.
So, Cornsey, your most memorable grand final moment?
Well, apart from the Crows and their power stance and the disaster before the 2017 grand final, I think Dom Sheed's goal, I think, was as good as it gets.
Yeah. 2010 grand final, the replay game, Collingwood and St Kilda. I reckon Heath Shaw's smother was just a turning point and set Collingwood up for the rest of the day.
And Bill, you've got a bit of a different one.
Well, I have Shane Biggs is his name in the 2000. Well, I know we don't have the vision, Mitch. In the 2016 grand final, but about 5 or 6 efforts which resulted in a Liam Picken goal, which was unbelievable.
And Brownie, Tom Boyd, I'll never forget that goal when he kicked the sealer in 2016, but you also loved the commentary of it.
I did. Seeing it live was amazing, but the commentary that Brian Taylor gave it on Triple M was brilliant. Have a listen to this. Buddy tackled by Morris. Dropping the ball. Boyd took the advantage and played on from inside the centre square. Boyd's kicked the goal. Boyd's kicked the goal.
Very good.
Very good.
Davo, you got one?
Yeah, look,
Loses
Dom
his
Sheed, as
mind.
Kane said, also back to 1977, it was in the second grand final, Phil Manasseh's 5-bounce
Yeah.
goal that kept Collingwood in it in a late stage. So,
Brilliant. Adelaide would have played the Fremantle Dockers. I want to just go back to this man. We forget just how good he is, but some Tony Modra highlights, Cornsey. So obviously he was your hero growing up, but the highlights package of Modra is as good as any player we've ever seen.
Yeah, he was. He's just an extraordinary player, and we're going to speak about players unlucky to miss out in grand finals, and he was just that. Crows played in 2 and 1-2, and he wasn't in either of them. So he was a freak, Lordo, and absolute hero of mine growing up.
So just to remind people, he kicked 84 goals and then does his knee in the 97 prelim, so he couldn't play in that one.
In the prelim.
In the prelim, and then Malcolm Blight dropped him after the first final in 1998, and then he went to Fremantle in 1999. So unluckiest players to not play in a grand final or miss a premiership.
Yeah, Robert Harvey for me. Just one of the more admired players in the game, and so unlucky to miss out.
I reckon 1990, Ronnie McEwen missing out on selection for Collingwood. He played 20 games that year, didn't play in the semi, but to miss out in the grand final was just terrible.
A great mate of mine, Bob Murphy, was captain of the football club, but wasn't there that day, so he deserved more than anybody at that footy club to be part of it.
Bobby Skelton, superstar, only played one final.
Yeah, semi, yeah.
And brutal from Sheeds on Derek Kickett. Sheeds stands by it, but he played every game and missed the grand final.
yeah, and not just that 93 year, but the
seem like they're
92
talking about the
year
GOAT
as well,
yet.
every single
Maybe
game.
we'll get to
45
that.
games consecutively and missed out.
North were meant to play Hawthorn. You'll enjoy this one. This was the 1978 grand final. Peter Landy, a few kids were jumping in his way, and he didn't like it. Let's look below the camera what he does with his legs, the great Peter Landy.
I think we'll flag you up to Bob and Lou
push that kid out of the way.
upstairs.
Wait for it, here it is. Wait.
boxing him out.
There.
So he wanted to go through, Bill, some great moments of some boundary riders. That's,
Only one.
Only one. Who is it, Bill?
Dipper, of course, have a listen to him at the Gabba, I think it is.
Welcome to the Gabba. Now I understand you are a Lions supporter.
Mate, yes, I started supporting the Lions when you could actually get a seat here back in about 93, I think it was, when the Bears first came to Brisbane. Used to work at Triple M, trundled down to the Gabba. Fantastic, and boy, you know, testament to the crowds here. The Lions have been going fantastic.
Is it first time at the Gabba?
No, I've been first time too.
In the Gabba?
No, all
Spoke about his times at the Gabba. Was it your first
Wasn't
time at the
listening.
Pays to listen. Pays to
Everybody's done that, but
listen.
one
No,
of my
no,
favourite...
actually, no. They haven't.
Something I would do.
They haven't. Yeah, soccer interview. That was anyway. My favourite moment was when Brett Kirk, his first ever boundary riding
Brownie, you
in the
can't.
room.
No,
I love
I'm
this
going to
stuff,
leave the
Kirk. You know
studio.
what?
I'm going.
And to speak from your heart, you need to have courage. You need to be honest and authentic. We're not always going to get it right, and sometimes you're not going to agree with us. But that's okay, because just like you, we care. Just like you, we're passionate about the game. So if you want to come along for the ride, join us on Saturday Arvos, because we just love the footy.
That was one that's been famous for Brett Cooper. There's one you like, though. It's your all-time.
Yeah, I do.
They're making fun of him?
It
I'm not
was
sure.
again outside the game, but involves TJ.
Oh, here we go.
They all know.
There you go. Well done, Mark. You did that very well. Well, look, all the very best for Thursday night, mate. Yeah, Tone, good on you.
Totally brushed it, Teach.
Absolutely brilliant. Just to wrap up this segment, North was playing Hawthorn. The big ask, it might be the biggest one of all, I think. Who is the greatest of all?
There
I
we
want to
go.
throw a man who needs to be the next legend inducted into the AFL Hall of Fame, and that is the great Wayne Carey. So they were due to play each other. And who is the GOAT? Can he dethrone, or has he dethroned the great Lee Matthews? So if it's not one of these, who is the greatest? If not, which one is it, Cornsey?
No, Wayne Carey's the best player I've seen. Didn't get to see enough of Lethal, so I'm going to go with the King.
You've seen both, though.
Oh, yeah, I have, no. Yeah, thanks for that. I'm going to go Lee Matthews.
Yeah, just on that, Lee Matthews, let's take a look at a few of his highlights before I give you guys an answer, because it's something that we haven't got into the show, just how good
so
this
he's
guy,
like one of the
8 best and
OGs, the
fairest
original.
in the era, playing with some unbelievable
Black
footballers.
and white.
Over 900 goals as a forward and as a midfield player. He went late in his
He
career.
played
built
in
to
black
full
and
forward,
white and in colour?
was as good as he was as a midfield.
And was tough, very, very
Well,
tough.
he copped as good as he
far
got.
as
Yeah.
television
He got as good as he copped.
programming goes.
Something like that.
And was
Gave as
also a
good as
very
he
good
got.
coach, wasn't he?
Yeah. So, Brownie, what do you reckon?
Like Kane, I didn't see enough live of Lee Matthews, so I'm going to have to go with Wayne Carey. But from what people talk about who played with Lee Matthews, Terry Wallace always talks about how good he was.
He didn't play in the 1920s.
No.
He did play in the 70s and 80s, 60s, 70s and 80s.
Wayne Carey, Lordo.
Different players.
Just ignored
Two
him.
different players, really, Lordo. I'll go with the Duck.
Different players, but I'm going with Lee Matthews. I think still is the greatest of all time.
I'm going Carey, Lordo, just
Okay.
for the size component and the fact that he probably should have won 3 Brownlows.
It's enough.
That's interesting, TJ, because still regarded as the greatest of all time, yet our panel are saying Wayne Carey.
Well, I think he's one of those blokes that it's a bit like when Wally Lewis talks about rugby league. Whenever Lee Matthews says anything about the AFL, and he can be quite outspoken, you don't feel you've got any arsenal to actually contradict what he says because it's Lee Matthews. You know, enough said.
So that's interesting. So it took a while to get to that part, that segment, and I'm glad they just focused on 2, because I want to look these guys up and figure out some information on there. Wayne Carey, I think they said, and Lee Matthews. The other parts of the video was actually quite entertaining. The snafu with the interviews or whatever. I don't understand the other guy. Was it just because he was like maybe a little too overpassionate and kind of awkward with what he was saying there? I'm not sure why they put that on there. A whole hodgepodge of things, but these 2 guys, my question for you in the comment section, which of these 2 guys is the GOAT? Those are the only 2 they gave us. And if you say, like, there's no way, there's someone way better than this, not like your personal fan favorite, but who you actually think is the greatest of all time, let me know in the comment section below. All right, so I just pulled up a little bit of information, not a whole lot, a little bit of research on Wayne Carey and Lee Matthews, just to kind of, I don't know, see what the internet is saying about these guys and whatnot. And I always use Wikipedia. I know people can finagle this or that, but I figure people that are really passionate about these guys, they're going to give me some good information. And so Wayne Carey is more of the modern player. I mean, not super modern, but more of the modern player. He's 48 right now, and he played. Hey, he actually has the same birth date as I do. That's pretty cool. He played from 1989 to 2004. He's got 2 MVP trophies, which, you know, oddly enough, is called the Lee Matthews Trophy. I don't think that was changed until 2002. But he's got 2 MVP awards. And it says right here that in 2008, he was named as Australian football's greatest ever player as part of a list of the top 50 players of all time, published by the Australian Game of Football. So, according to that list, he was voted as number 1, nicknamed the King, which is awesome, and the Duck. I'm not sure where the Duck comes from, but that's cool too. And he played for the Adelaide Football Club. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Played for the Adelaide Crows. That's what I'm talking about right there. So, I mean, same birthday, all that kind of stuff. I got a lot in common with this guy. Maybe a little bit. But then Lee Matthews, right? I mean, this guy, like they said, like, he wasn't playing in the 1920s. But this guy played in, looks like 1969 he started, 1970s he played, 1980s he played. And he won an MVP award in 1982, which was renamed in 2002. And it says right here that he's officially recognized as the best player of the 20th century. It does not say of all time, the 20th century. So, and that's he's a legend in the Australian Football Hall of Fame. But it's interesting how that one specifies the 20th century. Wayne Carey is of all time. So I'm curious if Lee Matthews is like, he's like the Babe Ruth as far as baseball goes. He's been around for a long time, did amazing things, played in a different era, as opposed to someone of our day, right? I still consider Hank Aaron the best baseball player of all time. But someone like a Mike Trout or something like that, maybe a little more current. You can't really put Barry Bonds on there because of the steroids and whatnot. But, I mean, I don't know enough to be able to say who this or that. It seems like from that panel, and most of those guys were younger than the one gentleman who said Lee Matthews. Most of them were on the side of Wayne Carey. Except for the host guy, he was younger and he said Lee Matthews. So maybe they were split. Question is, who do you think is the greatest of all time? Who is it? Is it one of these 2 guys, or is there someone else that's being left out that doesn't deserve to be left out? Earlier on, they talked about guys who never were able to get to a premiership, never able to win one. And I have to say, as a Chargers fan, that reminds me of Phillip Rivers. He was never able to get to a championship game, a Super Bowl at all. Definitely deserved it. Had a great career, I believe, Hall of Fame. So, great conversations there. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little different than ones in the past, which kind of like a hodgepodge of things, but I still enjoyed it immensely. Learned a few things. The question is, what did you think about it? If you liked it, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Go and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And let me know what you want me to react to next. But until next time, adios.